Takeshi's Castle. More like Takeshi's bloody illegal rave in the woods.
Starving Artist podcast. You already know what it is.
Yeah, we're out here. We're hungry.
We're hungry. Are you hungrier or less hungry?
Less hungry than I was. I've been paid.
Very
that's
nice.
Pretty good.
Very nice.
That being said, I have been relatively ill, and I think I've got the culprit, and it was food.
I'm a lot taller than you. I'm gonna.
Well, rub it in. Yeah.
Go ahead. It was food.
Yeah, I think it was.
You ate something dodgy.
I think I undercooked some salmon.
Oh yeah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Yeah, I've been fucked up.
It's in the
like mighty bad. Yeah.
It's in the name, innit?
Yeah. So I didn't eat much for the past couple of days, but then today I am back on eating food. I had a big fat Mackey's. I know it's not solids. The healthiest thing. Right. I'm gonna get out of the way here though. The past few times we've been on the podcast, I've said what I've eaten recently.
Right.
And it has been fast food.
Yeah.
We film these at the start of the week quite a lot.
Right.
So there's weekends where we've not been to the shops or whatever. I'm not a pig.
Right, okay.
Kind of.
I would argue that the rest of society does their shopping of a weekend.
See, that's why I don't, though. I also work weekends, I can't. I'm
okay, true.
So,
yeah.
The shops are always closed by the time I get out.
What's new since the last pod? Because we actually shot, sneak peek behind the curtain, but I guess this is what the podcast is for. We actually shot both of those first two episodes in the same day.
Can you tell by the difference in time on both of them?
Yeah.
One of them being an hour, the other one being 28 minutes.
Well, no, that's because the second one, everything broke 4 times.
Because we didn't have enough memory.
Yeah. Enough memory or battery or just will to go on.
Yeah.
So that was a few weeks ago. Since then, Give It Up has come out.
Yeah.
Not that you'd know.
Yeah. Well,
because somebody skimped on the social media. I left him in
2 videos.
I left him in charge of the social media. You didn't make any Give It Up videos. I left him in charge of the social media for 10 days. You did one, yeah, and it was good. Yeah. You should have done more, you know what I mean?
Maybe, but
so yeah, Give It Up, which is our second single in the releasing a song every month kind of thing, is out now. Didn't get radio play, which is a shame. Which is weird as well, actually, because
it's just, when you just have to laugh at it.
Yeah. But you know what's weird is that one got radio play and one is not a single type of song. And Give It Up was one of the 3 where we were like, oh yeah, this is probably the most radio friendly.
It is a weird one, that, thinking about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Dave Monks knows what it's at as well, so we should have at least got BBC to introduce him.
Yeah.
But, oh well.
It is confusing. I would have thought he would have played that one. Maybe it's just not his thing that he likes his guitars.
He does, It's a bit music. It's a bit
which is really annoying that the BBC introducing thing is so location based.
Right, yeah.
Because so if you've got a radio host that likes the kind of music you're making, you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
But so let's say if the host in Manchester would prefer our music to Dave Monks in Liverpool.
Yeah.
He might not, I don't know him. But let's say, for example, it's him, or London, or Bristol,
or her.
Or her.
Progressive podcast.
Or them.
Yeah, or them. It's probably a dude, right?
Probably a dude. But if you get lucky and you're the genre that local host likes, then you're flying. But if you have a host that really likes a different genre, then, I don't know, I feel like it can leave a bit of a spot, you know what I mean? Where it's I can't get access to this other guy who will like it because you're in charge of the gate, but you don't like me.
Right, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because especially because it's the BBC's kind of hierarchical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
he'd send it to someone above him as an area manager, and then they'll send it to someone else.
Saying that, I think they do it now so that your shit also does get sent to the national.
True, but imagine how big that pool
but
is.
also,
it's easier for us to get in front of Dave Monks because he's the local guy for it. And then, it might get in the national thing, but all these local guys have their local area anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to turn you up a little bit. So.
Okay. Oh, that was a nasty burp. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So,
oh.
Speaking to the microphone.
Hello.
Yeah, that's fine. Starving Artist podcast where we sound check in the middle of an episode.
I wonder why we're hungry.
Yeah. What was I going to say to you? Oh, yeah. So it's difficult for us because we don't. It's hard to define us by genre.
I think it's not as hard as we make it, you know.
No, but like as the guy who like does the BBC introducing thing, it's hard because we used to be under like the rock Indian rock show, but the rock show that Radio 1 does that gets sent to you is like rock and alt, which is like heavier shit. You know what I mean? More gothy, fucking Bring Me the Horizon-esque shit.
Yeah.
Whereas, so I think we're on like the pop one now, which is like. We're pop, but we're not like polished female singer pop.
If you were to define what we are, indie electronic is ultimately, I think, the thing.
But that's not.
You could argue alt pop, but it's sort of those are two of the sides of the same coin, really.
But that's not.
There's not a show for that.
Exactly, they're not like registered terms, and even on like Spotify, when you upload your song, it's like, what genre is this? And so I put pop. It's like you can put a genre, and then if you want, it's not compulsory, but you can put like a subgenre or like a secondary genre. So I put the first genre as pop, and then I clicked electronic as the secondary genre. But when you click electronic, then it's like, oh, which electronic subgenre? And it's like, well, none of these. Like it's made with electrical. It's like made with synthetic instruments, but it's not like big room house.
Yeah, that's tricky. That is tricky. I think the way that we'll maybe be able to get around that with Spotify is to be like, well, here's putting ourselves in playlists with similar stuff.
Yeah, that's one thing discussed. That we need to do. We need to get on like making playlists.
But like as for radio, I guess we just gotta email specific people and be like,
I think so.
Get on this and give them a pitch, because like you get people whose entire job it is to pitch songs to radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they don't do it by being like, here's our song, give it a play. They'd be like, here's our song, here's why we think it would be good for you and your audience and that kind of thing.
It's weird with radio as well, because I feel like a play on radio doesn't do anything. Even
with radio, it's being on rotation.
Exactly. Like even a play on Radio 1 doesn't do that much. Like Abby Kelly's been played on Radio 1 and she's still fucking doing sets in Lanigans of a Friday night, you know what I mean? But it's like you say, it's being on the rotation. It's being able to get yourself into that position where, like, you're the it sound of the...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I suppose you get there just by repeatedly giving them really good songs.
Yeah.
Which...
apparently we're not doing.
Apparently. I think Give It Up was a good one, but also at this point, I think it is a little bit of a kind of
if you thought it was so good, you should have promoted it a little bit.
Well, we promoted it for months, so
when it wasn't there for people to listen to.
Well,
I had to give him a stern.
Yeah,
I had to make my feelings known, which is not like we fuck around too much for me to have conversations where I make my feelings known. Everything that you sent me
got uploaded, bar like one, but there was a busy day where I just didn't upload that. As for making extra content,
didn't do none of it.
Yeah, I made like one. Probably should have made more, but
definitely should have made more.
Well,
just out of courtesy, I suppose.
Well, I was uploading the rest of them though. It's one of them. It's one of them.
Yeah. Well, I hope you've learned. And now that's one thing that we have said today. Actually, we've just had a little. This pod is coming off the back of like a
big market discussion.
Strategy meeting, and one of the things you suggested is that we
set up a fucking schedule. It was quite hard to like. One thing that I didn't realise, it's quite hard to keep on top of the times of it. Like, you'll be just going about your day. And then because there's not a scheduling thing for TikTok, and because I didn't realise where it all was on the other ones, it'd be like 12 o'clock would come along and it'd be like, oh, fuck, I've got to do this. And then it'd be a whole thing because I didn't have the scheduling set up because I was only doing it for a week.
I got into the... you do get into the pattern of doing it when you're doing it more often. But also, like, something I'd say for you is, like, when we were talking about it, like, while I was away, which we'll get to in a minute, is you were like, oh, can't keep hold of even a fake bifter. You were like, it's getting on a bit, I've missed the slot, should I just leave it? And I was like, no, post. And I think that's like, you're very regimented in the fact of like, if you don't do it in this specific thing that you've said you're going to do. I might have missed the window
of it being worth posting, because it was like 8 and I'd had a long day.
Like,
and I fell asleep like in the middle of the fucking day. And then I got there and it was like, it's 8 o'clock now. If we post this now, it might not do as well as 12 o'clock tomorrow, so might as well. Because the bulk of the views happen within that sort of first hour, so it's like and making sure you post it at the right time.
I'm not arguing with your research into like prime social media timings, because I think that is all valid on a wider scale.
I think it's helped.
But yeah, it has. But also, like, there's been days where, like, you know, like if I've been working or something, or I've just forgot one day,
and it's just had to go up later.
It goes up late, and it never really fucking makes a difference. You know what I mean? But yeah, no. What I was going to say was the other thing that you suggested is like working on shit more together rather than because like prior to now, we would.
So say like the editing of the clips for this, you'd have edited them. So then if I've been put in charge of uploading it and I've not done it at the right time, or I've like skipped a day or whatever, it's like, oh, but I edited that.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, well, if we edit it together and then get it scheduled to upload together, then we can forget about it until the next time we're doing content.
And the thing is, like, I don't mind uploading. Like, uploading doesn't really take that much time out of my day or whatever. But it is the editing. So I think, like what you were saying, if you're around for when we edit stuff and we edit stuff together, not only does it like take some of the load off me and the decision making off me, but it's also like it makes it more fun and it's more creative. And the final thing is going to be like more of a representation
of
both
what
have,
we're
like,
trying to
input
create
into it or whatever.
Yeah, definitely that. And then the setting up a scheduler. Like, I'm amazed that we've got this far into it without doing that. Well, see, like, a week of me having to do it was like, fucking hell, I wish I had something to not have to remember this every day, because it was a new thing to have to remember as well. So
I hope you appreciate.
Forget so quick.
I hope that makes you appreciate my effort over the past few months of it more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But yeah, we need to do something to make that, because as well, it'll make it so much easier for making sure the times get hit. You know, like the target time, because
it's reliable for any day.
Yeah, it's one of them. We can just do it once a month and then focus on music, which is something we've mentioned on this podcast before, how it's a shame that we can't just fucking work on music all the time. We've got to do all this, but like finding a way to make that sort of, and there's that bit done, and now we can work on the thing that we wanted to work on. That'll be good for us.
Yeah, because that's what you have to remember as well. Like, we are a fucking band, and like I think in this past year where it's been like go, and it's been getting progressively more towards this over the past few years anyway, where it's like we're less of a band and more just like marketing the things that we made a while ago. You know what I mean? But yeah,
bands do that though.
Yeah, well, it'd be good to play
they'll
live.
Write an album and then they'll sit on it for months while they figure out how they're going to market it, and then they will market it.
But at least like while they're out marketing it, they're like touring at the same time. You know what I mean?
Not always.
No, but
I don't know about that. Because say if you've wrote an album and then recorded an album, and then you've got to come up with the marketing campaign for said album, and then you've got to market it, and then it comes out, and then you'll do a tour, and then you'll get back and you'll do a bit of a break for a little while, just having a minute, and then you start the whole thing again. So it's being a few steps behind yourself where you want to be at, really.
Yeah, a few steps behind yourself. Yeah.
Chasing yourself through the woods.
Yeah.
Chase me.
What? Just a side note while I think about it. Jamie took a screenshot of one of the podcast clips that we'd posted, and I think his exact words, it was like a clip. I think you were just the only one talking in it. It never cut to me in it. So obviously it's like sort of focused on your half of the thing, and you can't see it on here. But when we were filming in the other room where there was the couch, which we might do occasionally, but not all the time, just because it's a fucking cockache to set up in there. You could see like down to your shins. Yeah. So you could see your foot like here. Yeah. And when you're talking, you do this thing where like you
shake
fucking.
My foot. I noticed that. I couldn't take my eyes off it.
Especially in that clip, it's very
really noticeable.
Because also like the captions are like across your foot. But Jamie's exact words were, "What a fucking mongrel, sat there waving his crep in my face."
He's only upset because he likes the smell.
So
I can see it, but I can't smell it.
Yeah. Let me at him. So, starving artist story of the week on my journey as a starving artist.
My man's been on a boat, which holds certain implications. If anyone watches some shows, they'll know.
Yeah.
Always Sunny. I'm saying that you're going to get raped on a boat.
Oh, right. I've never seen
rape on a boat.
Is that what happens?
No, but it's the implication.
Right, okay.
You're not going to say no because we're on a boat, so where are you going to go?
Right, okay, crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, performing on a cruise ship. It was weird.
Was there any instances of rogue waves making you play incorrectly? Like a little bump, and then you go, "Oh, that's Elton John fucked."
So, to some degree, yes, actually. So let me tell you this fucking tale. So the last 2 days of the trip were 2 days at sea from Scotland to Iceland.
Oh,
right?
shit.
So that's the North Sea, which is like notoriously quite treacherous.
Yeah, somewhat choppy.
Yeah, so the second day I'd sort of got used to it, but the first day I woke up in the middle of the night, the whole room's fucking moving. I can hear like waves crashing against the fucking side of the ship.
I love the idea of you in there with like the Blair Witch torch on your face, all terrified and shit. I'm gonna die at sea.
Yeah, right. So cause I've got this weird fear that I don't really know where it's come from.
Oh wait, before you even say it, because I might have the same one. I'm convinced that the ocean is gonna be what kills me.
Really?
I think.
See, for me, it's just like dark water. Right, being like if the ship went down, I'd be okay, but if it went down at night, I'd panic.
That megalodon be down there again.
No, I don't. You know what? I don't know what it is. I've had weird recurring dreams that have come out of nowhere over the past few years, where I'm like, usually like on a version of the Runcorn Bridge that isn't the Runcorn Bridge, where it's got like slats and gaps in the middle and it's nighttime and I can see down at the dark river and I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. Which I don't know. Like maybe it's got something to do with.
I had one about that bridge once.
Maybe it's got something to do with Lewis, man.
Maybe. I had one where I was in a taxi and there was a slip road down the side of that bridge. On the Runcorn side, on the left side, it went down there in between that and the train line one. Mm-hmm. And it just went into the water and I was saying to the guy, like, hey, you doing, lad? Why are you going down here? And he's like, I think he was like Middle East, and he was like, yes, quicker. Like, okay, cool. And then we were underneath the thing, and then the car stopped, and he's like, oh, we're trapped.
That's
like, this is a horrible.
No, yeah, that's terrifying. That'd have me.
I was there in the car, like, but I told you not to do it, and he's like, well, yeah, no, I didn't know.
That'd fucking have me. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, sat there in bed going, it's a big ship. It's made to do this kind of thing. It does these kind of crossings all the time. It's been it's not even an old ship. It's fairly a new ship. It's a huge one. It's fine. We're
Did
gonna
you
be all right.
start pleading with God?
I was sat there like rubbing me rosaries. No. So that day, which was the first day of those 2 days at sea, was fucking horrendous. And like, if we were in our cabin, it wasn't too bad because we were like the bottom deck that you could be on, and we were like in the middle. Yeah. So if you think, people always use like the pencil analogy. So like, if I use my phone, if I like shake that, the middle doesn't move as much as both ends, right? Yeah. So like, if you're at the front or at the back, you feel it more. So it was fine when I was in the room, but the theatre that we performed in was at the fucking front of the ship, right? So when you have to be... Sound check wasn't too bad because I guess we were on stage and we were moving around, but you could tell it was moving like quite a lot. Yeah. And you have to be in the dressing room half an hour before you show so that the audience doesn't see you walking through the theatre. And the dressing room was like even higher up and even further forward. So it was sending us all fucking west. And I was getting to the point where I was like, I might actually throw up here. Like, I had my head against the desk, and every time I lifted it up to put on a piece of clothing, I was like, So I went and stood like backstage, but even then, it was like killing me, and I couldn't. We had to wear suits. I couldn't do me top button.
Oh, because it was making you retch.
Yeah, like the feeling of it against my neck was like, I'm gonna be sick. So I'm sort of like stood backstage leaning against this pole, and for some reason, I guess because I'm on like the far end, I have to go on first. Like, so when they're like,
so you get on the stage green, wearing your purple suit with your green skin, looking like a fucking skinny Hulk.
So I'm stood there, like leaning against this pole backstage, like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. And they're like, ladies and gentlemen, Uke Box. Like, show face, ladies and gentlemen. But so before that gig, and also like the first maybe 10 minutes of it was fucking horrendous. Once I got into it, I didn't feel sick anymore. But it is it's so weird playing when the stage is moving because it was moving quite a lot, and obviously I felt like you. Right, because you move around a lot on stage, but you always look like you're on sea. You're at sea. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm on that Jack Sparrow thing. I've got sea legs,
mate. That's literally what it was. Well, and for 2 days when I got back off the ship, the room was like spinning.
Oh, mad. Before you get into the next bit, I'm like bursting for a piss doing ad read. Anal beads. Okay.
This podcast is sponsored by us. Yeah, that's right. Me and Sean, we are Strangers, the band, and as we've talked about on the pod before, we are releasing a brand new song every month. 2 of those songs have come out. Month 1 was called One, and month 2 was called Give It Up. You can listen to them both now on our Spotify and any other streaming platform. They are literally everywhere. I will put the hyperlink, like hyperfollow link things that takes you to just all streaming platforms for each one in the description of this video. Back to the podcast. So the weird thing about the cruise stuff is it's a corporate job, essentially, right? And when you say corporate job, you think like desk job, but it's like the artist equivalent. So it's like playing songs that we didn't write, that are covers, that are sort of the kind of shit I wouldn't even normally listen to most of the time.
Yeah, it's like whatever's the most popular for the audience that you're going for, rather than it being like, oh, here is our art. It's like, here is what will get us hired.
Yeah, and it's also weird in terms of like performing because it's another level of like perfect that it has to be because like these people are paying a lot of money to be on this ship and you're here to entertain them. So it's like dance monkey and do it fucking well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I bet as well. Like it's another level of performance because not only are you having to perform the songs, but you're having to perform as though you want to be performing those songs. As if you want to be performing fucking I'm Still Standing.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I know you don't because you're in an Indian electronic band.
Yeah.
Like, you're into alt pop and you're here doing, ukulele covers of Elton John. Like, but because they've paid so much to see it, you've got to keep the face on and make sure to make eye contact with every single one of them.
That's what I have noticed doing this is that, like, I have a resting bitch face. And when I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing, it looks like a fucking hate being there. You know what I mean?
I think I get the same a bit.
I'm not saying that I'm like up there giving it all the fucking happy clappy, but you do have to be aware of like your surroundings. And it's also strange because some of the shows were in like it was called The Club. It's like a bar on the ship. So that was a bit different, but we did 4 shows in the main theatre, which is like an 800-seater theatre where people are just watching you, right? Which we haven't experienced quite the same when we play live. Kind of people are there and they're watching you, but they're moving around and they're milling about.
They're
dancing.
Going the bar and they're on the floor at the front there, and then they're over here at the toilet.
Exactly.
Is it more like seats going like back, and it's like everyone's just staring and watching?
Yeah,
like
literally. And so like
up.
It's like when you finish playing, they clap, and then it's quiet. You know. Yeah. And you have to fill that space with like a pre-scripted thing that you've had to learn, and it's very much like, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's like, pulling out that.
By the way, the buffet is now open.
Oh, the buffet was always open, and let me tell you, it was fucking astounding.
Well fed.
Yeah, so well fed, mate. There's a buffet, like a pizza bar, a burger bar, and 4 restaurants that we all got free food at.
Nice.
And it was all like literally the best food I've ever had in my entire life. Apparently this was a good first ship to go on. Like, they're not all as good as this.
Wait until you get on the next one. It's going to be a pedalo and you're going to be going across the Pacific.
I'm still standing. But it's weird having to like, obviously because, just to look at it from like the artist point of view, it's weird having to put time and effort into getting good at songs you don't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Because like when we do it, it's like I'm expressing something.
Yeah. Excited to show people what it is you've worked on.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas this is, I'm excited to make money.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty much for the cold hard cash. And obviously like, the experience of like going away and stuff like that is cool.
I mean, being on a boat, that implication.
Yeah. And because I'd never been on a cruise before either, so even just like being on a ship, that's like it's so weird.
The idea of being on a ship fucks me up. Yeah, like the idea of being stood there and looking out and there's just no land. It's the same thing that fucks me up about deserts, like not being able to see anything but flatness. It's like, oh, okay, so if I wound up in a situation right now, that's it then. I guess there's no high ground, there's no getting anywhere, there's no there's no goal to walk towards, you know what I mean, or swim towards. It's just flat.
Like, because it made me think about the world a bit differently as well. Because like that trip to Iceland we were at sea for 2 days straight, and we didn't pass any other bits of land or anything. It was just 2 days of sea.
On a plane, you'd look outside and you go, "That's probably France."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But on a boat, it's like, "Oh, this is the sea."
Well, and also like. It takes 3 hours to fly to Iceland. It took us 2 days to sail there. You know what I mean?
I imagine being like from the
crazy.
past. Like,
I know, right?
Fuck all that.
Because I was thinking that as well. When we were on the rough sea, I was like, this is a fucking huge boat. There's thousands of people on this. Imagine doing the crossing to America on a little fucking wooden pirate ship.
Imagine being a Viking.
Exactly,
and getting
mate.
to Canada from Norway.
Yeah, that.
What the fuck was wrong with these? Like, was the farming really that bad? Was it really that bad in Norway? I mean, the answer is yes. But like, you know.
Norway, by the way, beautiful. Went to Oslo.
Oh yeah, I bet.
It's it's fucking
amazing.
It's sick. Like, it's expensive up there, but it was actually like so nice. Like, I had another.
They're just happier people.
Yeah, they are, and rightly so. I had another. They're handsomer people as well. By the way,
they get paid to live there, and everyone's heavy. So.
I did think that, like, me and Fabio were walking down the street. Fabio was he plays guitar in the band. He was my bunkmate.
Boyfriend.
And my Italian boyfriend. You jealous?
Yeah.
So it was me and him that went out to explore Oslo. The other two guys weren't really asked. And we were walking around.
There are a million times. It's just a Tuesday to them, isn't it? Corporate job.
And Fabio's a ladies' man. He's Italian, obviously, of course, you know. And he's going like, everybody's so beautiful here. And I'm like, I've not seen one obese person since we got off the boat. You know what I mean? Like, everything just feels healthier.
Well, they ride
it's cleaner.
bikes and shit.
Yeah, well, there was a lot of bikes.
There's a lot of cardio going on. There's a lot of healthy eating going on.
Yeah.
They're not so heavy on the Havamakis and watch the telly, are they?
Yeah, true. My final point as to relating this to being an artist, also, by the way, I should say, extremely grateful to have done that. Like, to get to do anything even like remotely music related and like get essentially a free holiday out of it as well as being paid was sick. Like, and the money's like fine. It's not anything crazy, but for
what you're doing.
Yeah, for the experience. Yeah.
And I'm going to show no gratitude because I wasn't even there. So.
Yeah, exactly. You were not posting on.
No, well, I was posting. I was posting, just not the text post that you wanted me to post.
But so the last thing I'll say that was weird from sort of an artistic point of view is, so you play a show, but then you're living on essentially a floating hotel with the audience.
Oh, weird, yeah.
So, and I hadn't anticipated this.
Did people come over and talk to you about the show when you were trying to chill?
Consistently.
Really?
Yeah. And
did you feel cool or did you hate it? Was it like, yeah, that's right, I am the musician from the show the other night? Or were you like, please don't look at me, I don't like Elton John? What I'll say is this, right? This is a safe space. Yeah. Right. Oh, by the way, also, before we get blacklisted for what I've just said, I don't hate Elton John. No. He's fine. Yeah, he's fine. Not fine like that, don't be getting any ideas, you dirty fucker.
He's got a management company, actually. We should get him.
But he's got a husband as well, so I'm in the clear. Did you hear about what Eminem got him for his marriage when he got married?
Something to do with jizz.
Yeah. Nearly, yeah.
Because I know that Elton John's... I know that...
Because I know that Elton John's gay.
No. When I was younger, I read McFly's book, right? And McFly talked about when they went round to Elton John's house, and he has like these big jizz paintings.
Oh, what?
On the wall.
Like real jizz?
I think so.
Or like a huge painting of, like, oh, it's so impressive that they made it look that much like jizz.
I don't know. I don't know. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. What did Eminem get him?
A diamond-encrusted cock ring.
Oh, wow.
Matching ones for him and his husband.
I mean, nice that they're both involved, I suppose.
Yeah, he loved it. He was like, oh, it's the best gift that I got. Yeah. So, you know, fucking...
Shouts to Elton John, I guess, man.
Yeah, shouts to Eminem.
Yeah.
What would he get me?
Only God could fear.
Yeah. A plain food would be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, to answer the earlier question, I'm not that hungry at the minute because I've just spent 10 days eating to my heart's content. Although I think I have lost weight, which is a weird thing. I don't really know how that's happened.
Yeah, healthier food, less processed. Probably.
Yeah, true. And also, like, you get in a weird amount of steps. I thought, I'm going to be dead inactive because I'm just living on this ship. But it's a big ship and you walk around quite a lot.
And every step's double the effort because you get fucking thrown around.
Well, exactly right, yeah. So, but what I was going to say is, so people accost you, right? Especially because... one of the spiel that they say in the show is like, oh, if you see us, come say hi. And then at the end, after we've done our bows, we run off, like, down the aisles through the audience to the doors.
Going, nobody catch me.
Well, no, this is,
and then you hide for 3 days.
This is a weird thing as well. It's like, all the old fuckers that want to get out first get up and start leaving as you're doing your bows.
So you run into them.
You run, and then you have to queue to get out of your own show. But so you stand at the doors and you say thanks for coming, you shake people's hands and take photos with people and stuff like that, which is nice. And that's what I'm going to say. Like, I understand that, like, it's a nice thing and it's nice to be complimented, and it's also part of the job, and I'm there representing a band that isn't my band, so I have to sort of put on a good display, and I'd never be rude to anyone anyway. But
yes, I love this bit. Go on, go off.
when you're like trying to eat, or like in an elevator is the worst one because you can't go anywhere, right? They go, hey, you're the guy from Ukebox, and you go, oh yeah, and they go, oh, I loved your show, and then I go,
hey, is you's the boy from the Ukebox?
Well, no, like so many Americans,
It's me, Ferris Bueller. My appearance has changed, but my opinions are the same. I loved your music.
I knew you'd find a way to work it in there. But what they do is, they then expect you to carry the conversation. They go like, my brother used to play the ukulele, and then they just sort of look at you like this, and you go, oh yeah, that's cool. And I'm like, so
do you not want to ask me about that?
So where you from? I did take to wearing my headphones for breakfast, right? Because like when I've just got up and I'm going to the breakfast buffet,
you don't want to come off.
I don't want to
being like,
exactly.
I want me sausages.
But I wasn't even playing anything. I just put them on so that people would think I was listening to something and wouldn't bother me.
It's a classic trick. I do it in work all the time.
Yeah, but like literally all the time, like in the fucking hot tub, whatever. Like people are trying to chat to you, and
would you say this has changed your feelings on whether or not you'd want fame from what we're doing?
It's made me think about it,
really,
which is weird.
Because one thing I've thought, so when I was at one point, I was suggesting the idea of what if we started wearing masks and keep our anonymity, and part of that was, I don't like going to... I've mentioned on this episode, I don't like going to shops when it's full of people.
Right,
I don't like going on the weekend. I'd prefer to go, like, right in the middle of the day, in the middle of the week, when no one's in there. So imagine if it was famous as well.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, what you getting there? It's like, keep your eyes off my curry.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's mine.
You're in Tesco buying a dick pump and someone recognises you at the
exactly. Like, I don't need TMZ finding out about all my lube.
Tesco sell dick pumps. We realised that.
This is true.
We went into a Tesco
I went to Scotland and it was full of dick pumps.
I went into a Tesco in Scotland and we were like, they're selling fucking dick pumps. That's crazy.
It's right next to all the dildos.
It is, yeah. It's in it's in the fucking pervert aisle. You freaks. Anyway.
Jesus. But yeah, has it made you think about like whether or not you, because that was your experience on that boat. That could be your experience in regular society every day of your life. Yeah,
right. So here's what I'm thinking.
We fuck it all off.
No. Yeah, this podcast's not even coming out.
Yeah. This is our goodbye.
It'd be better if it was notoriety for me being me.
People could ask you about... People would have something to say, I suppose. Rather than, I know somebody who used to play the ukulele. Now it's... I really liked your album.
just a fucking side note. I don't play the ukulele.
Fucking
I play the bass, right? It's a smaller bass. It looks like a ukulele, but it's not I actually can't play the ukulele, which is another issue because people would come up to me as if I give a fuck about the ukulele. I don't give a fuck about the ukulele.
That guy would be like, oh, my cousin used to play the ukulele, as if you're going to be like, oh, well, that is my passion, so I'll talk to you about it endlessly. It's
right,
like,
exactly.
oh, well.
Yeah. But
ask him if he wants to join a band.
But we all have that because the other guys are just like guitarists and stuff, and singers that have like learned to play the ukulele because it's the gimmick of this band that have put us on to do this thing. You know what I mean? So like, I'd prefer it if people were coming up to me and being like, oh, I like your album, I like this particular song, this made me feel this. And obviously it probably gets tedious after a while, but I think I would much prefer it in that sense. Like, I look forward to the day that I get recognised for the first time.
Yeah.
And I know that won't last long, but when you're having to do it for something that like is work and you don't feel that attached to, it is a bit weird. Just because like I love people, right, and I love having conversations with the right people.
Yeah. But
I hate small talk.
Yeah.
So like when you're just chatting to some fucking random American, like I don't care. You know what I mean? I don't care what you got to say. And sometimes they were fine, and sometimes they would sort of incite more conversation, and then you'd get a back and forth going. But I had one guy, and he was a British guy to be fair, so it's not all hate on Americans. One guy come up to me at breakfast, and he said about 3 statements to me. You know, like, were you the guy in the ukulele band? Yes. Oh, I came to see your show. You're really good. Oh, thank you. Oh, you're really good at playing the bass. Oh, thank you very much. And then he just went like this. Really intensely.
I'd elbow him.
For a period of time, right? And I like he's there, and I'm like sort of doing this, like trying to get juice, like sort of with the other hand. And it was just like, come on, man, if we're gonna do this, like, I would never go up and talk to someone out of the blue, right? Because like you were saying, I don't necessarily like that.
It's the staring and waiting thing that like. Because you're my mate, you're one of my closest mates, and you doing that then pissed me right off.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine if I just did that now.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
How's the rest of the podcast?
It's weird, isn't it? And also,
does it not make you want to hit me?
It makes me very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I bet.
But like, I wouldn't, if I was in public, I don't even like talking to people necessarily when I have to. Like,
yeah, he's made that choice.
I mean, I've only just gotten to the point where I'm like not socially awkward enough to like go and say,
order food by yourself.
Yeah, or like say, excuse me, mate. Like, where can I find, what aisle's this on? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I used to hate that shit. So I never go up to someone without a plan. You know what I mean? It's like, I have this thing to say. I'm going to say this. They're going to say that back. Maybe I'll have to give one more bit of information, and I'll go.
I mean, there was that time where we met that fella. What's his name? Paddy
Considine.
Yeah, is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we met him, and I briefly said something because obviously he's been in films that we like. But it's one of them. If you feel like you have to sort of be like, oh, by the way, I know what you're from, and I like your shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like I then went over and was like, I really liked you in The World's End.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was, oh, I really like you in The World's End, cheers, mate. Yeah. And then you just carry on with your shit.
Yeah, in transit is the best way for that to happen.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? Not when you have to, like, sit and talk to someone.
Or at least have some kind of a request at the end of it, you know what I mean? Am I all right to get a photo? Of course you can, mate. Right, I'll see you in a bit.
The thing with Paddy Considine made me laugh, though, because, right, we were playing...
I stuttered,
we were playing... story time. We were playing Sound City Festival 2019, and on before us was the band of actor Paddy Considine, who, by the way... Like, we only met him briefly that one time, and we only saw him that one time.
Yeah, it's not like we're mates.
Yeah.
I'd argue we're enemies.
Well, this is what I'm going to say. So this...
Oh, fuck, let's tag him in this.
Yeah, so this...
You little bitch.
This
I'll kill you.
This judgment is maybe uncalled for, but on that day, he was a fucking pain in the arse, right?
Great actor.
Yeah, his set ran over... First of all, and then when the rest of his band were trying to get stuff off the stage and other people were coming up and trying to talk to him, he was like trying to sign autographs. And instead of saying, "Oh, just give me a minute, mate, I need to get off because there's another band waiting to come on."
This band who've just said, by the way, he just told me he really likes one of my films, so I'm going to go over here and get off the way so that these can... Because we're setting up around him and shit.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
It's like, hey, Paddy, fucking move. I know you were in Submarine and I loved it.
You had to say to him as well, didn't you? And Submarine's one of his favourite films.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to go over, oh, you all right to move? It's like, not being funny, it was the stage manager's fault, I think.
The stage
he
manager
should have moved it. It's not your job to tell a fucking actor of that level, like, hey, move.
Yeah, especially at the time, I was like 21.
Yeah, I can't even blame him for running over and for giving, like, the fans attention. He had a decent crowd in there, they were enjoying it, whatever. It's the stage manager's job to do something about it, but instead, he was sat there with these two little emo girls on either lap, sat there with his fucking gut. You know what I mean?
But I think before Paddy's band had gone on, you went up to him. You were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go up to him," and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
Our stuff was like, picture he's here, and our stuff was like there, and we had to come past this way anyway.
Right.
And we'd seen him, and I'd been saying, I kind of want to say that like some of his shit. So on the way past, I was trying to be like, I really like you in World's End, but I stopped, didn't I? I really like you in. I did that shit. I clicked and pointed right in the sucker's face. Like, really like you in what is it? The World's End, yeah.
And meanwhile, my life goes into slow motion. I'm going, Sean, say a film. Sean, say a film, please. Sean, just say a fucking film. Say any film.
And
it doesn't even have to be.
He pulled a face.
It doesn't even have to be a film that he was in. Just say the name of a film at this point.
It was so funny though, because like I started saying, "Oh, I really liked you in," and then he pulled that sort of like, "Here it comes," here comes the compliment, and then I'm there like, and he's like. Come on, you're behind me, go and say something. He's there doing the fucking same. And then I said The World's End. He's like, I'm like, right then.
Did you not say thank you? No.
Yeah, he was just sort of like, cheers.
Right, okay.
All right. And then he fucking spends the next like half an hour.
You know what it did make me rethink though.
Sign that fucking.
You know what it made me rethink is, so I've worked in theatre quite a bit. I've worked with a lot of actors, and some actors come off kind of like. They come off a bit rude, but you once you get to know them, it's like, oh, they're just quiet, and maybe it comes across like they don't like you, but they're just like withdrawn and reserved, and like they don't really like talking to people, and that's kind of fair enough.
Yeah,
I've realised that I am that. Like all this time I've been working with actors, and I'm thinking, like I understand you're a bit quiet, but maybe you could just make the fucking effort. But then when I was in the position where I was the performer, and people want to talk to me about stuff, and even like backstage and like like speaking to like stage management and the entertainment team, I was always nice and stuff, but I tried to just let the other guys handle it because I was like, I don't really want to fucking talk to people, because it's effort to me.
Yeah.
But it's weird now, having been on both sides of that I'm kind of a bit more understanding of that position.
Yeah, to be fair, none of that interaction with him I thought was particularly rude or anything. I think it's just the way the situation unfolded, because then as a result of all of the chaos of the end of the set, which, for the sake of our future career, was the stage manager's fault. Paddy did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But like,
we won't clip this bit.
Yeah, we fucking will. We absolutely fucking will.
We'll clip the story bit.
But
we won't clip the like, oh fuck you, Paddy. He ran over his set. He was cunt.
But like what was I even on about with that?
The stage manager. To be fair, that whole day was a fucking shit show. Yeah. It was the stage management was terrible.
Dave Monk's got us on that one as well.
Dave Monk's got us on that one, and we thought this is the start. We thought this is the start of something here. We're playing Sound City Festival.
I remember what I was going to say, because we were so disappointed because it was going to be the start, and then all that happened and it threw us, and we set the fucking SPD up wrong, and then the sound engineer, there was
shit.
There was like a million problems after it, and just I've never.
I feel
that is the most heartbroken I've ever felt after a gig.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. So basically,
and it shouldn't have been, because I think maybe because we built it up so much. But after he'd performed, everyone left because they were all there for him. So we're now playing this failing gig in front of no one after having got really excited because Paddy fucking Constantinople's fucking just been playing. You know what I mean? We thought it was going to be like a massive crowd all for us, and
I still sometimes feel a little bit bad about that day because the sound engineer was shit and she didn't know what she was doing. I don't know why they'd put her on the festival. But yeah, I called her on it because the thing is, right, when you're in the middle of a gig and something goes wrong, it's a weird energy.
It's dead stressful,
because you're like...
Because it feels like it's a reflection of you. When
exactly.
It's not.
This
it's
is the thing.
Everything's gone quiet and now the audience feels awkward and I'm supposed to be the one to fix that.
Yeah.
Except I can't because the problem is that the mic doesn't work and the mic doesn't work because of you at the back. You know what I mean?
And the audience doesn't always realise that, and it's a weird energy because you're already under pressure performing, and then you've got the adrenaline of actually having to perform, and then when that gets like blocked for something and you have to deal with an issue, you're already like surging with all this shit.
And then you've got to find the energy once it's fixed again as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And you've got to, which I found really hard because it was the first song that everything fucked it.
Yeah, so basically just what happened was Jamie had plugged the SPD, which was running our backing tracks and stuff. He just plugged the thing into the jack into the wrong output on the SPD. So we played the song, and
there was supposed to be all these like synths and weird production parts happening.
During the song, I was like I was sort of gesturing to the sound engineer, more track, please. And because we didn't even get a sound check, did we?
No,
I don't think so. We were just going on. So I was trying to be like, we
showed up for a sound check, and then see, this is why it was the stage manager pissed me off with it so much because we showed up for a sound check. We spent the whole day there waiting around, getting told, yeah, we'll get you this sound check. Then it's, we don't have time for it now. You'll be straight on after these though. And then the set's run over. And now he's not removing the guy from the stage. And now we're having to say, hey, come on, pull your finger out, lad. And he's there like, ladies.
So I go to the sound engineer at the end of that first song. I go, backing track. Because I've been gesturing and like nothing's coming.
And we've got Jono at the back as well, trying to help.
Jono goes to me, there's no track coming out front.
Jono, by the way, is a sound engineer.
Yeah, so that's what happened. So I've been gesturing for more track. And then Jono's going, there's no track. So I turn to her and go, backing track. Like, more track. Yeah. And she goes, I'm not getting any track. And I'm like, were you just going to fucking sit there the whole gig and not do anything about that? Because she hadn't gestures to us to say, maybe stop, or like, I'm not getting any track. Well, she hadn't.
Because we'd said, here's the elements of our set. Backing track, 2 guitars, a mic, and the drums.
Yeah.
So then, one of those elements isn't coming through.
Because also, like, I thought...
You would have hold on, out of the fucking, 5 things that I'm supposed to have coming in here.
Yeah, I thought she'd done a line check or something. Like, you'd at least... I don't know. So I was just like... She's like, I'm not getting any. So then it's like, it makes us look fucking stupid. Because I'm like, why is this not working? And she's like, well, it's not... I'm not even getting any plugged in, so it's not my fault. And it's like... Well, do something about that, though. You know what I mean? Like,
help us, we're dying. We're dying up here.
Like, you're the sound. It's not even like it was a big venue and she was like in a booth at the back. She was next to the stage, right?
Yeah.
Come round, fiddle with the fucking jack. Make sure everything's plugged in properly. So it threw the energy, didn't it? It was so weird. Like, the energy was surging, and then it was like,
felt really awkward after that. Like, for us, but I feel like that was reading for the audience as well. It felt like a really uncomfortable room after that. It's like, you've just had this really good performance from this guy who you know off the telly, and now you got a load of teenagers having a go at the sound engineer while some ginger prick fucking fondles little emo bird at the side of the stage. Fuck that guy.
And I feel bad for sort of like having a go at her a bit, but also like, do your fucking job, you know what I mean?
Because for her, that's one of many sound engineering jobs. For us, that was like the biggest gig that we'd ever had at that point that was being like ruined for us.
But it did shatter a thing about the industry that like, even at the next level up, people don't fucking know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe at the very top they do kind of, but even then it's like they're just
there's
winging
a reason that people are getting paid so much for them jobs at that level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can live a healthy lifestyle off touring with bands and doing sound engineering in arenas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not so much in a cafe in Liverpool.
That was heavy. Yeah. That was a heavy experience.
It was upsetting. It's a shame that we're ending the podcast on such a sad note,
really,
isn't it?
Yeah.
What else has happened? Let's do a quick last little happiness before we fucking get out of this. Then the VMAs happened.
Did they?
Yeah, we weren't on.
No, again?
Right. You are getting snubbed by these fuckers.
Snubbed by the Brits, snubbed by the VMAs. I'm still waiting to hear from the Grammys, but I can guess how it's going to go.
I mean, fingers crossed the Tonys get back to us.
Yeah, your musical theatre album did great in the charts.
It really did.
Yeah, I still feel like we're finishing on a downer.
Yeah,
here, you know
yeah.
I mean?
It's because we were so happy before.
Yeah, we got really. I feel like we got really amped up about that thing that happened to us 5 years ago.
But it's because fucking.
But it's a lesson, right? Because at that point, right, we'd released this single called Hibernate, and it got played on BBC Introducing 6 times, right? Yeah, and we were like, oh, that's crazy. That's unprecedented.
There's been a few periods in our being in a band together where we've gotten close to getting onto that next step.
Yeah.
And so the reason that we're so upset about this is because we were really about to put that second foot on that next step and fucking solidify our place there.
I don't think...
No, I really think we was. We got played on BBC Introducing repeatedly with that song. We got given 2 gigs off the back of it.
Yeah, we headlined the Cavern.
We headlined the Cavern, and then we got given this Sound City gig.
Yeah.
And then everything fucking dried up right after it. And I think there was part of it that was like it was a bit of a test. Let's see what this is like. And then we give the fucking sound engineer a load of shit, and he's gone, oh, they need a few more years to brew.
I don't think Dave was even there, though. Like,
oh, because he doesn't have fucking little birdies in places. He don't have ears.
Yeah. Well, but
he got us the gig.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did they do? They had a go at Ginger. Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It felt like that at the time. I'm not convinced that that's why. Because basically,
I'm not saying it was our ticket to stardom.
No. But
there's many rungs on this ladder, and we were about to step onto the next one, and then the momentum got pulled completely right after that point.
Yeah, because literally that was like the week that we released a mixtape that we'd been working on for ages that just like did no traction whatsoever. No one reviewed it. Nothing else from it got played on the radio.
And not only that, songs off it before this event had been played on the radio.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Hibernate, it was Nocturnal as well, and there was others, you know what I mean? And then as soon as this gig happened, we didn't hear a word from Dave Monks until, last month?
I don't know, he might have played one of the tunes.
I don't even think he did.
I don't know.
I think he might have maybe played like Jaded or something, but even that, or maybe Lonely Animals. One of them. He didn't play all of them.
Because we'd even done like an in session at the BBC as well.
Yeah,
like a little acoustic thing and everything. And then
it all dried up after that one fucking gig, man.
But this is what we're talking.
But if that's what did it, like needlessly fickle industry, that's what did it.
But so
you know
we were talking about this on the cruise because it's been the case in the past.
Did it upset you that badly?
No. Not this specific thing, but on the ships, all your performances are filmed, right? And if you're deemed to be like shit or not tight enough or not good enough, like they don't take kindness to that at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're paying you to be they want the highest quality, so they can put in a complaint with your agent about you, right? Being like, you need to get these to tighten up or whatever. And I was saying, we had a gig where the sound engineer, again, did not know what the fuck she was doing. And, like, our in-ear mixes were all weird. And out front, you could tell it sounded fucking horrible. And I said to the guys, I was like, is there no, like, reversal of that where we can put in a complaint with the entertainment manager and be like, this sound engineer is not good enough to be doing this. Like, she's just kind of fucked over our set there. And they're like, no, that's not how it works. And I was like, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's like if the crowd are then like, that was terrible, it was nothing but feedback the entire time, and then you just get a thing through being like, why was that set so choppy? And it's like, well, because the sound engineer put a microphone next to the amp and didn't tell us.
Yeah, it's so weird. You're putting your fucking life in the hands of sound techs, which is sound when it's... And I think I understand now why some musicians can be so tetchy, because we've played with people that are very particular, and like I've worked as an engineer with people that are very particular, and I always kind of think, come on, mate, chill the fuck out. But I do get it, because like they're putting everything that they've rehearsed into your hands and being like, make this sound good in front of an audience, and not everybody is qualified to do that. And I think it's a travesty, really, that like sound engineering is not valued enough, really.
It's a bit of a lost art, because like, no one that gets into music turns around and goes, do you know what, I want to be a sound tech in a bar.
So even sometimes you get it where like people actually want to be sound engineers, but because they don't have a musical background, they don't fucking understand these things. It's like, oh, you're just a nerd that likes speakers, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. And there's a lack of self-awareness.
My experience with it is like normally sound engineers tend to be like older fellas who...
In the places that we used to play,
in the places we used to play, it'd be older fellas who wanted to be in a band and who probably, if you sat down with them, could play the guitar really well, but like they'll play Pink Floyd really well, so that's why they know, because they weren't like creatives or whatever reason, 1,000,001 reasons why you don't make it in music. One of them was their one, and now they're watching you trying to do it, whilst having to sit there twiddling knobs, the same knob that they've twiddled to the same value for everyone. The past 25 years.
Well, that's the thing in those smaller venues as well, because they're not like if you do like theatre stuff like me, at least the sound techs have been to like university to do it, you know what I mean? Yeah. But those guys are just guys that used to be the one who was in charge of setting up the PA in their practice room, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, so say like a bigger venue like a theatre, you're going to have all different kinds of performances there. So sometimes, you know, you might have like a little brass section over here that he's miking up. Sometimes it's just a guy on his own and he's got a monologue with one of these Britney things. Like, whereas in a bar, and it's the same bar that the guy's always sound engineering, it's like, well, here is the maximum volume that legally we are allowed to get things to. And here is the maximum gain that I can put it to before everything breaks.
Yeah, that is literally
there we go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's not like the rooms are shaped that you can get a good sound out of it anyway. So it's like, oh, fuck, is it coming out the speakers, flying? Yeah, can you hear it on stage? Cool.
That room that we did Sound City in was fucking horrible as well, like a metal roof.
Yeah, it was made of fucking glass on one side, wood on the other side, fucking marble on bottom and metal on top. How's that sounding up front? Like shit. Thanks for asking.
And on that note, that's been another episode of the Starving Artist podcast. We're going to go because the fucking camera's running out of space. Listen to our songs, like I said before in the advert. I'll link everything down below. We've got a new song coming out at the start of next month. It's called Boy. I will link the pre-saves to that down below as well. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, boy, oh boy. But that has been the Starving Artist podcast.
Bye.
You gotta say the thing.
Oh, fuck.
Stay hungry.
Bye.